Gopāṣṭamī. Alright, okay. Jai Shri Guru Gauranga Gandhar Vikagiri Shri Radha Vinod Bihari Ju ki Jai, Shri Govinda Gopinath Maran Mohan Ju ki Jai, Nityal Pravishtam Vishnupar Ashutta Rashita Shishmar Bhaktivedānta Nārāyaṇa Gosvāmī Mahārāja Śrīla Gurudeva ki Jai, Nityal Pravishtam Vishnupar Ashutta Rashita Shishmar Bhaktivedānta Vaman Gosvāmī Mahārāja ki Jai, Nityal Pravishtam Vishnupar Ashutta Rashita Shishmar Bhaktivedānta Swami Mahārāja Śrīla Prabhupada ki Jai, Nityal Pravishtam Vishnupar Ashutta Rashita Shishmar Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj ki Jai, Nityal Pravishtam Vishnupar Ashutta Rashita Shishmar Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada ki Jai, Nityal Pravishta Maha Bhagavat Śrīla Gaurkishoras Babaji Maharaj ki Jai, Nityal Pravishta Śrīla Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Ṭhākura ki Jai, Nityal Pravishta Vaishnav Sarvabhauma Śrīla Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj ki Jai, Shri Rupa Nugauriya Guru Varga ki Jai, Shri Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath, Shri Jeev Gopal Bhatta Dasa Gunath, Shar Goswami Prabhu ki Jai, Shri Sarup Damodar Rai Ramanandari Shri Gaur Parshad Vrinda ki Jai, Namacharya Shri Haridas Thakur ki Jai, Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadādhara Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki Jai, Shri Kshetra Mandal Gaura Mandal Vraja Mandal Mathura Vrindavan Dham ki Jai, Sarva Abhishta Pradata Giriraj Maharaj ki Jai, Shri Radha Kunda Shama Kunda ki Jai, Shri Yamuna Devi Ganga Devi ki Jai, Shri Tulsi Maharani Vrinda Devi ki Jai, Shri Bhakti Devi ki Jai, Shri Purnamasi Yoga Maya ki Jai, Shri Gopeshwar Mahadev ki Jai, Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki Jai, Shri Shamali Dhavali Adi Jatosh Dhenu Gon ki Jai, Shri Gopāṣṭamī Tīrtha ki Jai, Shri Dhanañjaya Paṇḍita ki Jai, Tīrobhāva-tithi ki Jai, Shri Gadādhara dāsa Ṭhākura ki Jai, Tīrobhāva-tithi ki Jai, Shri Śrīnivāsa Ācārya ki Jai, Tīrobhāva-tithi ki Jai, Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki Jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki Jai, Samagata Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki Jai, Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bo. Hare Krishna, everybody. Dandavat pranams. Hari Bo. Let's see on YouTube and Facebook who's there. Angelo and Ganga Mataji, Hare Krishna. And who else? And here on Zoom, I already mentioned. Who is it? Shubhananda Prabhu, Vaidyanath Murari Prabhu, Nri Hari Prabhu, Bhavatarani Mataji, Narottam Nitai Ki Prabhu, and Megan Monroe. Hare Krishna, everybody. So, I just mentioned in the previous live stream, but yeah, I'm a bit sick and a little bit out of it right now. Just letting you know why I'm like might seem a little, I don't know, whatever you say, I might like act a little drunk or something. Okay, so today we're going to read first from Kṛṣṇa, Lord of Sweetness. There's a chapter 6, and my Gurudev, Nityal Pravishta Śrīmad Bhaktivedānta Nārāyaṇa Gosvāmī Mahārāja, he will describe the pastime of Kṛṣṇa taking out the cows for the first time. That's the festival today, Gopāṣṭamī. And then actually is anyways, whatever. Let's I'm going to share my screen. Isn't it today also they dress Radharani as a cowherd boy? And you can see her feet also. It's like the only day of the year you can have darshan of Radharani's feet. So maybe we can find that pastime of when Subal dressed like Radharani and Radharani dressed like Subal so that she could go meet with Kṛṣṇa. Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Goswami Maharaj tells that Leela very beautifully. Forgot where though. God, what book was that? We read it recently. Anyways, I'll have to see. Yeah, anyhow. And then we'll read from Śrī Caitanya and His Associates by Srila Bhakti Ballabha Goswami Maharaj for all these different disappearance days. So let me just open up the file. Okay. Where is it? BCV books. No. Sorry, I'm really spaced out. Okay, we're reading from Kṛṣṇa, Lord of Sweetness. Where is it? Kṛṣṇa, Lord of Sweetness. There it is. I have to download it. It'll take a second though, because it's a small file. Okay. Oh, and also maybe we can sing Śrī Caitanya Ashtakam. I think that's a very nice, appropriate thing to sing for today. Okay. So let's find chapter 6. Okay, so this is chapter 6, Kṛṣṇa, Lord of Sweetness. Lord Brahma steals the cowherd boys and calves, leaving Gokul forest for Vrindavan. No, we're not going to read that. Yeah. Krishna's play with the cowherd boys. Yeah. Okay. Krishna left Gokul at the age of 3.5 and came to Madhuvan around the age of 5. Because he took so much butter, ghee, and rabari, you know what rabari is, right? It's like milk. It's like this skim of milk, but over and over again cooked down, and it's really special milk sweet. And so because he took so much butter, ghee, and rabari, he was sportive and strong in his boyhood. Krishna and Baladev used to wrestle and play sportively, jumping here and there and playing with monkeys. These monkeys would sit on the tree limbs with their tails hanging down, and Krishna and Baladev used to easily jump and catch hold of them. Then, when the monkeys would jump from one tree to the next. One second, let me make this smaller. Sorry, give me 1 second. Okay, so yeah, when they would jump from one tree to the next. Yeah, so So when the monkeys would jump from one tree to another, Krishna and Baladev would follow, doing the same. Sometimes they would play leapfrog, and sometimes they would dance like peacocks. They played in various ways. Krishna told his father and mother, "Now that I'm strong, I want to take the cows out to graze." Hearing this, Yashoda became worried. She said, "No, oh no, you are a small boy. You cannot go." "Mother, I should go, because this is our tradition." He was so obstinate. "I must go, mother. I must go." A priest was called, and an auspicious date was decided for his first day of cowherding. That day became known as Gopāṣṭamī. Nanda Baba, Upananda, and all the superior Gopas decided that because Krishna was so small, it would be better for him to go out with other children. Krishna and Baladev could go to nearby places and graze small calves, but not the fully grown cows. Krishna was happy with this, and Yashoda, after decorating him in an auspicious way, brought him shoes to wear and an umbrella to use when taking the calves out. On an auspicious day, the Vrajvasis worshipped Nārayaṇa, Nrsimhadev, and Shaligram. Yashoda Ma decorated Krishna elaborately. She never actually wanted Krishna to go cowherding, and so she kept decorating him. Meanwhile, the auspicious time for setting off was approaching, and the priest who was thinking about the cows he would soon be receiving in donation for his services, he wanted Krishna to head out. Quickly, quickly, he told Krishna. Yashoda wanted to put the shoes on Krishna and Baladev and give them the umbrellas, but Krishna told her, "Mother, the cows are our superiors and are worshipful for us. You should try to give each cow an umbrella and 4 shoes. Only then will we accept these things for ourselves." Why did Krishna say this? He wanted to touch the earth with his feet so that it would become auspicious. The earth wanted to take Krishna's feet on her breasts. The breasts of the earth are everywhere in the form of mountains. She always wants Krishna's lotus feet on her, and that is why Krishna never took an umbrella or wore any shoes. After giving many cows in donation, Krishna began to move toward the forest with his many calves. The calves were beautiful. Some were small, some bigger still, but all were less than 1 year old. Both the she calves and the he calves were there. By this time, Krishna and Baladev were with their Gopa friends, Sridam, Sudam, Subal, Madhumangal, and so on. And all the Vrajvasis came out of the village of Chatikara, Vrindavan, to see them off. Mother Yashoda, however, was not in the mood to give Krishna up. Because she wanted to keep Krishna forever within her embrace, she did not return home. And so Krishna told her, "Mother, you should go back." She reluctantly began to return, but when Krishna took 1 or 2 steps forward, she again wept like a cow for her calf. This happened again and again. At last, Krishna told her, "I vow that we will come back. Please return." Hearing this, Yashoda stopped weeping. So this is a very happy, joyous, festive day for everybody except for Yashoda. Today, this is like the most miserable, horrible day ever. Nanda Baba and the other Gopas were also following Krishna, but Krishna stops them as well. There are many gopis and friends of gopis, aged 3, 4, and 5. They were worshiping Krishna with their crooked glances, and Krishna was accepting their worship with his eyes. They wanted to meet with him. They sat on the rooftops and balconies, in doorways and windows. Some came out of their house and stood in their courtyard. Krishna was beautifully decorated with a peacock feather, the Kaustubha jewel, and his vangshi, his flute. Kasturi tilakam lalata patale vakshastale kaustubam nasagre varamuktikam karatale venu kare kankanam sarvange harichandanam sulalitam kanthe chamuktavali Gopāṣṭrī pariveshtito vijayate Gopala Chudamani. That's from the Śrī Gopala Sahasranam Stotram, verse 28. His forehead is decorated with musk tilak. The Kaustubha gel rests upon his broad chest. An exquisite pearl hangs from the tip of his nose. A flute gracefully rests in his lotus hands, and the bracelets adorn his wrists. His entire form is anointed with sandalwood paste, and a necklace of pearls graces his attractive neck. All glories to the crest jewel of the Gopas, who is surrounded by all the young Braj Gopis. Shubhananda was saying it's like going to school for the first time. Yes. One jewel, a diamond, was on Krishna's nose, glittering brightly. His beautiful earrings were always kissing his cheeks, and his tilak was beautiful. Sandalwood, kumkum is a powder made from turmeric or saffron, musk, and camphor were on his cheeks in patterns resembling spider webs, making him look very beautiful. The fragrance they gave was cooling. Upon seeing Krishna so beautifully decorated, no one wanted to turn back, especially the gopis. But Krishna told them repeatedly, "You should now return. I am not going far away. I am very nearby and will return shortly." The Vrajvasis nearly fainted. All stood there weeping. At last, Krishna entered the forest and could no longer be seen. They could only see the dust in the sky raised by the calves' hooves. When the dust settled, Nanda Baba, Yashoda, and others somehow returned back. Okay, so there now let's see if I can find the thing by Srila Goswami. It might be in, what is the book called? I think it might be in Loving Search for the Last Servant. Loving Search for the Last Servant. Let's see. Loving Search for the Last Servant. The Service of Sri Radha. I think it might be here. Let's type in Subal. I think that will bring it up. Yes, it is. Okay. So, so today you'll see in all the temples, as I mentioned before, Radharani is dressed up like a cowherd boy. And so let's hear the story. What happened actually? And I guess that this pastime happened on this day. Okay. Let's make the text a bit bigger. Okay. One second. Let me find it again. Subha. All right. So this is from Loving Search for the Last Servant by Srila Bhakti Rakshak Goswami. I'll just read the paragraph before it, just so that we see the context. The name Radha comes from the word Aradhana, one who can serve, who can worship, who can give respect, who really loves Kṛṣṇa, who can render loving service. All of these other ladies who are famous for their chastity and piety are but partial representations of Radharani. If we note the scriptures and scrutinize the position of those virtuous ladies, we'll find that the source of all their chastity and devotion is Srimati Radharani. She is the fountainhead of devotion. And so Bhaktivedānta says, I bow down and take the dust of the holy feet of those who have as their only wealth the service of Radharani. I hanker after nothing else. Heno Radha Paricharya Jankaradhan Bhaktivedānta Tar Magaye Charan. Whoever knows this and always travels on that path with a sincere heart is most fortunate. It is the ideal that makes one great, not any material possession. One who has the highest ideal is really wealthy. The highest ideal is the most valuable thing we may possess. And less valuable things must be eliminated if we are to concentrate our efforts and save ourselves from useless endeavor. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to show us that that highest ideal, the path of divine love. And we find divine love of Godhead in its highest intensity in his life and teachings of Śrīmad Bhagavatam. In his life and teachings of Śrīmad Bhagavatam, yes. The whole Śrīmad Bhagavatam is meant to illustrate the ideal of divine love, which reaches its highest expression in Srimati Radharani. The Śrīmad Bhagavatam sings very gloriously about the paramour relationship of Radha and Kṛṣṇa. The Vedas and other Puranas are not so expressive about such confidential pastimes. Yet we find a hint of the glories of Radha and Kṛṣṇa in Śrīmad Bhagavatam. And the Goswāmīs have more fully expressed Radharani's devotion in their writings. In Srila Rupa Goswami's Padyavali, we find her saying, My Lord, people say that I have a bad reputation because of my connection with you. I do not feel any trouble in my heart because of this. My concern is that I could not give myself to you completely. The people in general say that I am illicitly connected with you. But what disturbs me is that I could not really give myself to you. I feel that I am not fit for your service. This is only the trouble in my heart. This is the only trouble within my heart. And the ecstasy of divine love increases in separation. One day, when Kṛṣṇa was playing with his cowherd boyfriends in the pasturing grounds of Vrindavan, Kṛṣṇa suddenly felt extreme separation from Radharani. He sent his best friend, Subal, to Radharani, saying, Go to my Radha and fetch her. Without her, I cannot live. Suddenly, I have so much desire for her company that I can't stand it anymore. Somehow manage to bring her. Subal said, How is it possible to bring her here in the jungle in broad daylight? Kṛṣṇa told him, somehow manage it. Subal thought, what should I do? Subal was very intimately connected with the family of Radharani's husband. He went to the house of Radharani and told her girlfriends, Krishna cannot tolerate separation from Radharani any longer. He is so eager to meet her that he is going mad. Somehow you have to arrange for them to meet. How is it possible? The gopis asked. Subal explained to them that Krishna was nearby in the jungle. They discussed between themselves what to do. Subal was a beautiful boy who resembled Radharani. So Subal took the dress of Radharani, and Radharani wore Subal's cowherd dress. When Radharani was discovered wearing the dress of Subal, she was challenged by her family members. Subal, what are you doing here? In the dress of Subal, Radharani said, a calf is missing and its mother is mooing, so I have come here looking for that calf. So a calf was given to Radharani, and she carried that small calf on her breasts into the forest. In this way, Radharani was disguised as Subal, while Subal, who had taken the dress of Radharani, remained behind in her room. Radharani had been given a hint of where Krishna was hiding near the forest's edge. She went to seek him out. At last, when Radharani saw Krishna, she approached him in the garb of Subal. Krishna was mad. He could not detect that Radharani had come, but he mistook her for Subal. He said, Oh, Subal, you have come back without Radharani. Couldn't you bring her? Radharani began cutting jokes. No, she said, it was impossible for me to bring her in the daytime. Krishna said, then what am I to do? I cannot tolerate my life any longer. Radharani said, if you say so, I can go to Chandravali and bring her. No, Krishna said, curd cannot satisfy the thirst for milk. It is not possible. Krishna was faint with disappointment. Then Radharani embraced him, saying, my lord, can't you recognize your maidservant? You failed to recognize me. Then Krishna was again full of joy. Although the pastimes of Radha and Govinda are mentioned in the scriptures, these are all very high things. They are not ordinarily to be expressed in words, but still sometimes we are forced to speak about them because the high ideal of divine love given by Śrīmad Bhagavatam is the supreme goal of life. Of course, the scholarship of Shukadeva Goswami and Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu have helped, to a certain extent, to establish the dignity of the proposal that love is above knowledge. It was admitted by everyone that Shukadeva held the highest attainment of the learned men of knowledge. He was unanimously admitted by the scholars to hold the highest position. Because of this, when Shukadeva Goswami came to inaugurate the principle that divine love is above everything else, the scholars had to take notice. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu demonstrated to the scholars that his intelligence and scholarship excelled everyone else's. So, when he came with the tidings of divine love, then it was easier for the ordinary men to accept it as the highest ideal and try for it. Okay, so anyways, that's what we're reading about Gopāṣṭamī now. That's our reading for Gopāṣṭamī for today. And now we will move on to read from, what is it? Śrī Caitanya and His Associates. We'll read about all the disappearance state. Let's find, what order should we do it in? I don't even know. May as well just see what I find first. Dhanañjaya Paṇḍita. There's Dhanañjaya Paṇḍita. Okay. So this is Śrī Caitanya and His Associates by Srila Bhakti Ballabha Tīrtha Goswami Mahārāja. And if anybody would like to get this book, it was this year actually, beginning of this year, it was published on as a Kindle book, a new version also, a revised edition of Śrī Caitanya His Associates, and it's available on Amazon on the Kindle store. And if you're in India, it's in book form, it's only 600 rupees. which is really a good price for such a big book, a massive book, high quality printing also. Okay, Srila Dhanañjaya Paṇḍita. Vasudama Sakayascha Pandita Śrī Dhanañjaya. The cowherd Vasudama became Dhanañjaya Paṇḍita in Gaur Lila. That's from Gaur Ganodeshtipika 127. Vasudama. It's interesting. Sometimes their names are with a long A at the end, and sometimes it's the same names with a short A at the end. Like sometimes we see Sri Dama, and sometimes we see Sri Dam or Vasudam and Vasudama. Another reason for that. Okay. Dhanañjaya Paṇḍita, the dear associate of Lord Nityananda, was previously Vasudam, one among the 12 bosom friends of Lord Baladev. Dhanañjaya Paṇḍita was Nityananda Prabhu's dear servant. He was very renounced and full of love for Kṛṣṇa. That was from Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi 1131. Opinions vary about Dhanañjaya Paṇḍita's birthplace and his parentage. In the Gaudiya Vaishnava Abhidhan, it is said that he was born in the village of Jhargram in the Chittagong district on the 5th day of the waxing moon in the month of Chaitra. That's 1484 AD. His father's name was Shripati Bandhopadhyaya. His mother's was Kalindi Devi. His wife was Haripriya. In the book Gauranga Madhuri, another version is given. It says he was born in the village of Siyan Muluk near Bolpur in the Birbhum district. It says his father's name was Adidev Vachaspati, and his mother's name was Dayamayi Devi. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Gosvāmī Ṭhākura subscribes to the former view in his Anubhashya. Okay. Dhanañjaya Paṇḍita's primary home was in the village of Shitalgram, which is served by the Kaichor post office in the precinct of Mangalkot in the Burdwan district. Shitalgram is about 1 mile northeast of the Kaichor railway station, which is 9 miles from the Katwal railway station. He's also said to have had homes in the Sanchra Panchra and Jalandi villages. The first of these villages lies 2 miles south of Satdeula, Tejpur, which is 4 miles from the Memori train station. Jalandi is about 10 miles east of the city of Burdwan and is served by the Lokanagar post office. Also found in this village is the home of Sanjaya Paṇḍita, who is said to have by some to have been Dhananjaya's brother, and by others his disciple. Dhanañjaya had no offspring. Those who supervise the Shitalgram temple are descendants of his disciples. Both the Gaudiya Vaishnava Abhidhan and Gauranga Madhuri agree that Dhanañjaya Paṇḍita was married and that his wife's name was Haripriya. It is also mentioned that he would prostrate himself in obeisances before Tulsi Devi 3 times a day. He was married when very young, but this did not stop him from leaving on a pilgrimage shortly after his wedding. His wealthy father gave him money for traveling expenses, but Dhanañjaya gave it all to Mahaprabhu and carried only a begging bowl. This particular action has been recalled by the author of the Vaishnava Vandana. That's Devakinandan Das. Vilasa Vairagi Vandon Pandit Dhanañjaya Sarvasva Prabhure Diya Bhanda Hatte Loy. Dhananjaya's main home, or Shripat, was in Shitalgram. The deities of Gopinath, Nitai Gauranga, and Damodar are worshipped by him, are still being served there. These deities are brought into a field not far away from the temple, where the Disappearance Day festival is held annually in the middle of Magh. We're not in Magh right now, though. That's interesting. Why does it say in the middle of Magh? We're in Kartik. Anyways, Dhanañjaya Paṇḍita participated for a few days with Mahaprabhu in his Sankirtan pastimes in Navadvip. From there, he returned to Shitalgram, whence he went on a pilgrimage to Vrindavan. Before traveling to Vrindavan, he stayed for a few days in Sancharapanchara, leaving a disciple who is traveling with him in charge of the deity service. At present, there is no further sign of this temple in Sancharapanchara. Nityananda Prabhu delivered the most fallen and crushed the atheistic. These powers were manifest in his dear devotee Dhanañjaya. Dhanañjaya Paṇḍita converted many robbers and atheists in the Shitalgram area. This is a quote from Chaitanya Bhagavat, Antya 5.773. Dhanañjaya Paṇḍita was an extraordinarily great Vaishnava. Nityananda Prabhu took up permanent residence in his heart. As one enters the Shitalgram temple, a small Tulsi altar stands on the left. This is a site of Dhanañjaya Paṇḍita's Samadhi. His disappearance day is on the Kṛṣṇa of Kartik month. Okay. So today's Kṛṣṇa. Okay, so that's Dhanañjaya Paṇḍita ki jai. Now let's read about Gadādhara dāsa Ṭhākura here. Oh, Haribol Kṛṣṇa Mai Didi. Okay. 1 second. Just curious. Oh, Haribol Vidya Lalasa Didi. Hare Krishna. Okay. Śrī Gadādhara dāsa. Radha Vibhuti Rupaya Chandrakanti Purastita Sadhya Gauranga Nikate Dasa Vanksho Gadādhara Purnananda Vrajeya Sid Baladeva Priyagrani Sapikarya Vashareva Pravishatam Gadādharam. She who, during Krishna's avatar, was Chandrakanti, the manifestation of Radharani's ornaments, has become Gadādhara dāsa by Gauranga's side. Balaram's beloved Purnananda has also entered into him for some special purpose. I don't know who Baladev's beloved Purnananda is. But anyways, that's so interesting. Gadādhara dāsa is the manifestation of Radharani's ornaments. Chandrakanti. Okay. That's from Gaur Ganadashtipika 154, 150 155. See, in Vraj, everything is conscious. Everything is. Just like we see Vamshi Vadanananda was Krishna's flute in Mahaprabhu's pastimes. So even inanimate objects are personalities in the spiritual world. Okay, so Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Gosvāmī Prabhupada has commented on Gadādhara Dasa's identity in Krishna Lila. He said, he is Śrīmati Radharani's effulgence. Just as Srila Gadādhara Paṇḍita Gosvāmī is Radharani herself, is Śrīmati Radharani herself, so Gadādhara dāsa is an avatar of her bodily luster. Okay, so Gaur Ganadashtipika says that he is, what is it? Chandrakanti, the manifestation of Radharani's ornaments. And Srila Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada says that he is Radharani's effulgence, her bodily luster. In the Lord's avatar as Krishna with the emotions and bodily luster of Śrīmati Radharani, he is that bodily luster. In the Gaur Ganadashtipika, he is said to be the manifestation of Radha's opulence. He is counted amongst the followers of both Gaur and Nityananda Prabhu. The followers of Gaur relish the mood of conjugal love, while the followers of Nityananda Prabhu are in the mood of pure devotional service and friendship. Although Gadādhara dāsa was an associate of Nityananda Prabhu, he was not in the mood of friendship as a cowherd boy, but is in the conjugal mood. He established the temple of Gauranga in Katwa. That's from the Anubhashya, the Chaitanya Charitamrita, 1 Adi 1053. Gadādhara Dasa's home was in Iriyadaha, a village situated 8 miles north of Kolkata on the banks of the Bhagirathi River. After Mahaprabhu's disappearance, he moved from Navadvip to Katwa, and then later to Iriyadaha. In the Gaudiya Vaishnava Abhidhan, it is said that Gadādhara Das supervised Sachimata and Vishnupriya Devi's affairs. When they disappeared, he moved to Katwa, where he established the worship of the Gauranga deity. The temple is currently known in Katwa as Mahaprabhu Bari. Oh, isn't that like the main temple in Katwa? I don't know. Like, I wonder if that's... Anyways, I don't know. Gadādhara Das met with Mahaprabhu when the Lord was making his initial attempt to travel to Vrindavan by taking the route through Bengal, first stopping in Shantipur, then Kumarhatta, and then Raghava Pandit's house in Panihati. Mahaprabhu affectionately placed his lotus feet on Gadādhara Dasa's head. And now this is an excerpt from Chaitanya Bhagavat Antya, chapter 5, verses 92 to 94. When Gadādhara Das heard that Mahaprabhu had arrived at Raghava Pandit's house, he ran to see him. Gadādhara Das is extremely dear to Mahaprabhu. His body is charged with the joy of devotion. When the Lord saw the pious Gadādhara, he lifted his feet and placed them on his head. So that was from Chaitanya Bhagavat. When Mahaprabhu sent, I think it's interesting, Dhanañjaya Paṇḍita and Gadādhara Das disappeared on the same day. They're both associates of Nityananda Prabhu. I wonder if they had like some extra special connection. When Mahaprabhu sent Nityananda Prabhu from Puri to Bengal to distribute divine love, Gadādhara Das, Ram Das, Krishnadas Pandit, Parameshwari Das, Purandar Pandit, Raghunatha Vaidya, and others accompanied him. On the road from Nilachal, Nityananda Prabhu and his associates made various extraordinary displays of divine love. Gadādhara Das, the eternal resident of Raj, took on the transcendental mood of Srimati Radharani, and in the ecstasy of a cowherd girl, began to laugh and shout, "Yogurt for sale! Yogurt for sale! Does anyone want to buy some yogurt?" In the mood of a cowherd boy, Abhiram Das Thakur stood for 9 hours in the threefold bending form. Krishnadas and Parameshwari Das also took the mood of cowherd boys, shouting "Hoi, hoi!" as though they were herding the cattle. Purandar Pandit climbed up a tree and shouted, "I am Angad!" And then he jumped down to the ground. The mood of Radhika descended on Gadādhara Das. He began to call, "Who will buy yogurt?" and burst out laughing. Krishnadas and Parameshwari Das both shouted "Hoi, hoi" in the spirit of cowherd boys. That's from Chaitanya Bhagavat Antya, chapter 5, verses 238 and 240. One second, I need to blow my nose. Let me mute the mic so you don't have to hear that. Okay. When Nityananda Prabhu arrived in Bengal, he visited villages on both banks of the Ganga. Gadādhara Das was experiencing Gopi Bhav and took a jug full of Ganga water and called out to everyone, "Milk! Who wants to buy milk?" When Nityananda Prabhu saw Gadādhara Dasa's Bhav, he took the Gopal deity from his house and danced, holding the deity to his chest. Now here's a quote from, where is it from? From Chaitanya Bhagavat 3.5, Antya 5.3, verse 381. It says, "In the mood of a gopi, Gadādhara Das had no consciousness of external reality. He constantly referred to himself as a gopi. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur writes in his commentary to this verse that although Gadādhara Das is considered himself to be a gopi, he did not dress like a woman. His mood was expressed internally, and he did not make any artificial external display. It wasn't like the Saki Bekis, they tried to, but he was not like that. One day Nityananda Prabhu was in the audience at the performance of Krishna's Dan Kanda Lila by Madhavendra Ghosh at the house of Gadādhara Das, and he went into a deep trance. For this reason, Gadādhara's house is also known as the place of the Dan Lila. The Dan Lila is described elaborately in Rupa Goswami's Dan Keli Kaumudi. Oops. In Gadādhara Das's village of Eriyadaha, there was a very powerful Kazi, antagonistic to religion, who hated the very sound of the congregational chanting of Krishna's names. One day, Gadādhara Das was in an ecstatic mood and walked right into the house of this Kazi, singing the holy names at the top of his voice. The Kazi was sitting there in the company of his inner circle. Gadādhara Das ordered him to chant the holy names. The Kazi became very angry at the affront, but when he saw that Gadādhara Das was in a trance-like state, he calmed down and asked him why he had come. Gadādhara Das answered, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu have descended to this earth to make everyone chant the holy names. Only you have not yet done so. So I've come here to make you chant the name of Krishna. If you chant the holy names, all your sins will be eradicated. Although the Kazi was by nature cruel, he laughed and said, All right, I'll chant Krishna's name tomorrow. Now go home. Gadādhara Das danced jubilantly and said, Why tomorrow? You have just uttered the name of Krishna now. Now that you have taken the name of Hari, you will never again know any inauspiciousness. That was from Chaitanya Bhagavat, same chapter 5 of Antya, verses 409 to 410. Gadādhara Das thus converted the, whoa, I've never seen that word before, irascible? Have you ever heard that word? Yes. Irascible. Okay. Gadādhara Das was thus converted the irascible Kazi through his divine power. This impossible task became possible because his body had become possessed by Kṛṣṇa. Now, this is a quote from Chaitanya Bhagavat, that same chapter 5 of Antya, verses 413 and 727. This is the glory of Gadādhara Das, who has been counted as one of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's intimate associates. Just seeing him, who is constantly in an ecstatic devotional mood, erases all one's sinful reactions. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami has also written the following about Gadādhara Das in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. He says, Śrī Ram Das and Śrī Gadādhara Das were both devotees of Śrī Caitanya Mahaprabhu and stayed with him. When the Lord ordered Nityananda Prabhu to return to Bengal, he told both of them to accompany him. Gadādhara Das was always in an ecstatic state in the devotional mood of a gopi. Nityananda Prabhu put on the Dan Lila performance in his house. That's the Anubhashya, the Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi, chapter 11, verse 13, 14, and 17. Gadādhara Das was also present when Raghunath Das Goswami put on the yogurt and chipped rice festival in Panihati on Nityananda Prabhu's order. Yadunandan Das was Gadādhara Das's disciple. This is stated in the Bhakti Ratnakar. Yadunandan Chakravarti was a very learned scholar whose guru and worshipable lord was Gadādhara Das. It's Bhakti Ratnakar 9.352. Gadādhara Das's disappearance day is on the 8th day of the waning moon, on Kṛṣṇa of the month of Kartik. Śrīnivāsa Ācārya put on a huge festival on the occasion of Gadādhara Das's disappearance day. Wow. And it also happens to be Śrīnivāsa Ācārya's disappearance day. So this day must have been really special to him because he chose this day to disappear himself. So Śrīnivāsa Ācārya put on a huge festival on the occasion of Gadādhara Dasa's disappearance day, in which many exalted Vaishnavas participated. Like the one at Keturi, this festival was greatly renowned throughout the Vaishnav community. Now in Bhakti Ratnakar 9.362, it says, "What can I say about Kartik Kṛṣṇa Āṣṭamī? My Prabhu disappeared here on that day." Gadādhara Dasa's Samadhi tomb is situated on the grounds of the Mahaprabhu Bari temple in Katwa, close to Keshav Bharati's Samadhi tomb. Oh yes, I've been there. Yep, I know exactly where that is. Okay, Jai Gadādhara dāsa Ṭhākura ki Jai. Now we will read about Śrīnivāsa Ācārya. This morning we sang the Śrīmad Gosvāmī Ashtakam, which is written by him also. Yeah, Śrīnivāsa Ācārya. Just looking at the comments. Okay. Śrīnivāsa Ācārya. Śrīnivāsa Ācārya was born in 1530 AD on the full moon day of the month of Vaishak, combined with Rohini Nakshatra, in the village of Chakhandi, which lies just north of Agradweep in the district of Nadia. His father, Gangadhar Bhattacharya, was a Brahmin of the Radha class. The Bhakti Ratnakar describes how this came about. Okay. Gangadhar was overcome with grief when Mahaprabhu took sannyas in Katwa, and he began to cry constantly while calling out the names, "Ha Chaitanya, Ha Chaitanya." When the other devotees saw him intoxicated in divine love for Mahaprabhu, they nicknamed him Chaitanya Das, a name that stuck with him for the rest of his life. Chaitanya Das was indifferent to the things of this world, but one day he suddenly felt a strong wish to have a son and told this to his wife, Lakshmi Priya. She responded by telling him to go immediately to Puri to submit to Mahaprabhu. The couple left for Puri, first stopping for a few days at Jajigram at the house of Lakshmi Priya's father, Balaram Vipra. When they arrived in Puri, Chaitanya Das and his wife paid their obeisances to Mahaprabhu. Before they could speak, the Lord himself spoke. Understanding their wish to have a son. Mahaprabhu said, "Jagannath Dev will surely fulfill all your desires." The other devotees were curious about what desire Mahaprabhu was talking about. Mahaprabhu called Govinda and said in a deep voice, as if from a trance state. He said, "Chaitanya Das desires to have a child. Indeed, his wife will soon give birth to a jewel of a son who will be named Śrīnivāsa. He will be the manifest form of my love and will increase everyone's enthusiasm for devotion. I will bring scriptures into the world through Rupa Goswami and others. Through Śrīnivāsa, I shall distribute them. Śrīnivāsa is the embodiment of pure love for me. All minds will be enthused upon seeing him." That was all from the Bhakti Ratnakar, chapter 2, verses 120 to 123. Once they had received Mahaprabhu's blessing, Chaitanya Das and his wife returned to their home. And when the auspicious moment came, a son was born to them. Chaitanya Das immediately consecrated the child to Mahaprabhu. Consecrated, yeah. The baby went through the early childhood rituals of the first feeding of solid food, the Anaprasna ceremony, the name giving, that's namkaran. What's tonsure mean? Tonsure. I don't know what that word means. Anyways, and sacred thread ceremony. The associates of Mahaprabhu, such as Govinda Ghosh, and the residents of Śrī Khanda, such as Narahari and Raghunandan, poured affectionate blessings on the child. Śrīnivasa's early education and travels. Śrīnivāsa Ācārya was devoted to his parents. He was fortunate to hear about Mahaprabhu's divine glories, as well as Radha and Krishna's Vrindavan pastimes from Chaitanya Das. Father and son would go into an ecstatic state as they discussed these transcendental topics. His mother trained him in various forms of Nam Sankirtan. He studied grammar, literature, and poetic theory from Dhanañjaya Vidyavachaspathi and quickly acquired mastery of these subjects. This is probably a different Dhanañjaya, right? Or is it the same one? I think it's a different one. I don't know though. Dhanañjaya Paṇḍita, Dhanañjaya Vidyavachaspathi. Who knows? Śrīnivasa's father left the world while still quite young. The loss of his father's association greatly affected Śrīnivāsa, but the other devotees made a concerted effort to console him and his mother in their grief. Śrīnivāsa took his mother and moved from Chakhandi to his maternal grandfather's house in Jajigram, where the villagers were overjoyed to see him. Shortly after moving to Jajigram, he went to visit Narahari Sarkar in nearby Śrīkhanda. From Narahari Sarkar, he learnt that Mahaprabhu would shortly be ending his earthly pastimes. This news made Śrīnivāsa determined to see the Lord before it happened. He quickly returned to Jajigram and took permission from his mother to make the trip to Puri. He then joined the devotees on the annual pilgrimage. It was the 5th day of the waxing moon. Before Śrīnivāsa arrived in Puri, however, the news that Mahaprabhu had indeed ended his Leela reached the party of pilgrims. That news reached the party of pilgrims. Śrīnivāsa Ācārya fainted at hearing this report. And when he came back to consciousness, he decided to commit suicide. However, the Lord himself appeared to him in a dream and told him to complete his journey to Puri. Once in Puri, he again had a dream in which he saw Jagannath, Baladev, and Subhadra, as well as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu with his associates. In Puri, Śrīnivāsa met Srila Gadādhara Pandit Gosvāmī, the avatar of Mahaprabhu's pleasure potency, and both of them were immersed in an ocean of ecstasy. He also met Rai Ramananda, Paramananda Puri, Shiki Mahiti, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, Vakreshwar Pandit, Govinda Shankar Pandit, and Gopinath Acharya, and received blessings from them all. Śrīnivāsa stayed in Puri for some time, hearing Śrīmad Bhagavatam from Gadādhara Pandit Goswami, and was enchanted. Gadādhara then told him to return to Goda. While on his way to Bengal, Śrīnivāsa learnt that Advaita Acharya and Nityananda Prabhu had also wound up their earthly pastimes. Once again, he determined to end his life in their separation, but the two Prabhus appeared to him in a dream to assuage, is that how you say it? Assuage his grief, and persuaded him to give up his resolve. When he arrived in Navadvip, Śrīnivāsa was once again plunged into an ocean of despondency at the loss of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Vaṅśī-Vardhan Thakur saw him in this condition and approached Vishnupriya Devi and asked her to grant Śrīnivāsa an audience and to bless him. Śrīnivāsa Ācārya was amazed to see Srimati Vishnupriya Devi's deep faith in Mahaprabhu's worship and her intense renunciation. While in Navadvip, he had a dream of Shachi Devi and received blessings from her too. Śrīnivāsa then wandered throughout Bengal, going to all the Shripats of the associates of Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu, seeking their blessings. In this way, he visited Shantipur, Kardaha, Kankul, Krishnanagar, and Srikhanda. Among the Parshads he met were Murari Gupta, Srivas Pandit, Damodar Pandit, Shuklambar Brahmachari, Gadādhara dāsa, Parameshwari Das, Janava Devi, Vasudha Devi, Virabhadra, Abhiram Thakur, Narahari Sarkar Thakur, and Raghunandan Thakur. All these great personalities witnessed Śrīnivasa's intense devotion and told him to go to Vrindavan. Śrīnivāsa then went to his mother and repeatedly asked her for permission to make the trip. His mother could not refuse when she saw his eagerness. I think that's Śrīnivāsa in the middle there. Yeah. Śrīnivāsa arrives in Vraj. Śrīnivāsa then traveled through Agradvip, Katwa, Moreshwar, and Ekachakra, and then went to Kashi, Ayodhya, and Prayag. He spent a long time visiting all these holy places before he finally arrived in Vraj. There he learnt that Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, Kashishwar Pandit, and Raghunath Bhatta Goswami had all disappeared. Raghunath Das Goswami, Gopal Bhatta Goswami, and Jiva Goswami were still living, however. Śrīnivāsa met all three of them and received their blessings. He was initiated by Gopal Bhatta Goswami and took instruction in the Vaishnava scriptures from Jiva Goswami. In great affection for Śrīnivāsa, Jiva Goswami commended him. He commended him to his deities, Radha Damodar. Śrīnivāsa met Raghunath Das Goswami and Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami in Radhakund and received their blessings. One day, Jiva Goswami heard Śrīnivāsa explain a verse from Ujjvala Nilamani, and he was so impressed by his erudition that he bestowed the title Ācārya upon him. Jiva Goswami also gave the titles Ṭhākura to Narottam and Shyamananda to Dukhi Krishnadas. Jiva Goswami ordered Śrīnivāsa Ācārya Prabhu to tour all of Vraja's pilgrimage sites with Raghava Goswami. The return to Bengal. Sri Jiva Goswami and the other Vaishnavas in Vraj ordered Śrīnivāsa Ācārya, Narottam Thakur, and Shyamananda Prabhu to take manuscripts of the invaluable Goswami's literature to Bengal in an ox cart. They placed them in a chest that was offered to them by a rich merchant in Mathura, back to Bengal in an ox cart. They set off on the Shukla Panchami of Agrahayan month. It was a long and dangerous trip, but they were able to cover the greater part of the distance without any trouble. Upon arriving in the Hindu kingdom of Vishnupur, they felt that the danger was over. However, the rumor had reached the capital of Vishnupur that a rich merchant was traveling to Puri with a valuable cargo of merchandise. One second. I'm just blowing my nose again. 1 second. I'm going to mute myself. Okay, thank you. Okay, so Virahambir, the ruler of Vishnupur, was also the leader of a gang of highwaymen. When he heard that a cargo of great value was passing through his territory, he asked an astrologer to confirm the truth of the rumors. The astrologer confirms that the chest being carried on the ox cart was indeed of great value. The king immediately sent a group of robbers to steal the chest, thinking that it contained gold and jewels. He specified to the robbers that they should kill no one. Well, thank God for that. The robbers first worshipped the goddess Chandi, and then they sent out a spy who returned to tell them that everyone in the group accompanying the ox cart was sleeping in exhaustion after eating their evening meal. The robbers felt that Chandi had mercifully given them a golden opportunity to make the raid. They stole the chest of books and turned them over to the king of Vishnupur. When Virahambir saw the large chest, he was delighted at the prospect of finding large booty inside. How disappointed he must have been to see nothing but books. He turned to the astrologer and asked him how he could have made such a mistake. The astrologer answered, "I can't understand it. Every time I made my calculations, I came with the same conclusion. This chest is full of priceless jewels. It is incredible. I do not know why my calculations have gone wrong. The mere sight of the holy books had a purifying effect on the king. However, it had a purifying effect on the king, however, and he regretted having stolen them. Indeed, he desired to meet with the Acārya who owns them. That night, he had a dream in which this Acārya appeared to him and pacified him somewhat. The next morning, Śrīnivāsa Ācārya, Narottam Thakur, and Shyamananda Prabhu awoke to find the chest of books missing. They searched everywhere, but when they failed to find any clue of the book's whereabouts, they felt so depressed that they considered killing themselves. Yeah, probably for many of these books, this is the only copy, like of Chaitanya Charitamrita, and there's many books in there. Could you imagine if all those books were just lost? So some local villagers saw the distressed condition of the three Vaishnavas and immediately suspected the robber king, Virahambir, and rebuked him. Śrīnivāsa Ācārya made some further inquiries and was assured that he would be able to find more information from the king himself. The three Vaishnavas felt some hope and abandoned their suicidal intentions. Śrīnivāsa Ācārya decided to remain in Vishnupur in the home that he would be able, he decided to remain in Vishnupur in the hope that he would be able to recover the manuscripts. But he sent Narottam Das Thakur to Keturi and Shyamananda Prabhu to Odisha. The conversion of Virahambir. While staying in Vishnupur, Śrīnivāsa Ācārya heard from a Brahmin named Kṛṣṇa Ballabha that Virahambir liked to listen to Śrīmad Bhagavatam and daily attend its recital. One day, Śrīnivāsa Ācārya went with this Brahmin to the place where the Bhagavat was recited. The Brahmin introduced Śrīnivāsa Ācārya to the king as a great Vaishnava, and the king indeed observed the characteristics of a great person in him and was attracted to him. The king expressed a desire to hear Śrīnivāsa Ācārya speak on the Bhagavat, and Śrīnivāsa Ācārya agreed, thinking that this might be a good opportunity to recover the books. So he started to speak on the Bhagavat on a daily basis. The king was enchanted by Śrīnivāsa Ācārya's unprecedented explanations of the Bhagavat in his sweet voice. Śrīnivāsa Ācārya preached Mahaprabhu's teachings both through speaking on the Bhagavat and by kirtan, while Narottam Thakur and Shyamananda Prabhu primarily used the medium of kirtan. Each of them had his own particular style of singing kirtan, by which they intoxicated their listeners with devotional ecstasy. The styles of these three acharyas used respectively, the styles that these three acharyas used respectively were named Manohar Shahi. So that's Śrīnivāsa Ācārya had the Manohar Shahi style of kirtan. Narottam Thakur had the Gadādhara style, and Shyamananda Prabhu, he had the Rainiti style. Love to hear the difference between all those three styles. But I think a lot of those that has been lost. Virahambir arranged for a secluded dwelling to be given to Śrīnivāsa Ācārya. One day, when he had the opportunity to find the king alone in his apartments, Śrīnivāsa Ācārya recounted the entire story of his journey from Braj and the theft of the manuscripts. The king immediately confessed, showing great sorrow for his misdeed, and he had the chest of books returned to him. Greatly relieved, Śrīnivāsa Ācārya immediately sent messengers to Vrindavan, to Narottam Thakur and Shyamananda Prabhu with the good news. In the course of time, Virahambir and his entire entourage all took initiation from Śrīnivāsa Ācārya and dedicated their entire lives and wealth to him. At initiation, Virahambir was given the name Chaitanya Das, same as his father. Śrīnivāsa Ācārya's marriage. After staying in Vishnupur for some time, Śrīnivāsa Ācārya returned to his maternal grandfather's house in Jajigram. Then he set off for another tour of Katwa, Navadip, and other towns in Bengal. Śrīnivāsa Ācārya respected Narahari Sarkar of Śrī Khanda greatly, and was also very devoted to his saintly mother. When Narahari Sarkar heard Śrīnivāsa Ācārya's mother express her desire to see her son married, he gave him the order to do so. Even prior to receiving this order, Śrīnivāsa Ācārya had received the same command from Advaita Acharya in a dream. Though he felt somewhat ashamed, he realized that he could not ignore the wishes of Advaita Prabhu. He could not ignore the wishes of Advaita Prabhu, Narahari Sarkar, and his mother. He thus agreed to get married and was wed to Ishvari, the devoted daughter of Gopal Chakravarti of Jajigram. It is not always easy to understand the divine activities of Mahaprabhu's devotees. Only someone who is totally surrendered to the Lord and his devotees can comprehend their glories. Śrīnivāsa Ācārya's preaching activities. Śrīnivāsa Ācārya started to teach the Gosvāmī's books to his disciples in Jajigram. One of his most important disciples was Ramachandra Kaviraj, the son of Sri Khanda resident Chiranjeev Sen. I've been to their Shripat. Sri Jiva Goswami Prabhu gave Ramachandra the title Kaviraj after hearing his poems. Narottam Thakur had a close friendship with Ramachandra Kaviraj and even wrote about it in one of his songs. Daya karo Śrī Ācārya Prabhu Śrīnivāsa Ramachandra Sangha Mage Narottam dāsa. O my master, Śrīnivāsa Ācārya, please be merciful to me. I, Narottam Das, beg you to give me the association of Ramachandra. When Shuklambar Brahmachari, Gadādhara dāsa, Narahari Sarkar, and Dvija dāsa Acharya all ended their earthly activities, Śrīnivāsa Ācārya was once again overcome by grief and made another trip to Vrindavan. Ramachandra Kaviraj and Shyamananda Prabhu also joined Śrīnivāsa Ācārya and Vraj on this occasion. Śrīnivāsa Ācārya met with Gopal Bhatta Goswami and Sri Jiva Goswami, as well as with Bhugarbha Goswami and Lokanath Goswami. And these great devotees encouraged him and diminished his feelings of loss. When he returned to Goda, Śrīnivāsa Ācārya joined in the festivities occasioning the departure of Gadādhara dāsa in Katwa, Narahari Sarkar in Srikhanda, and Dvija Haridas in Kanchangoria. From there, he went to Budari village, where Ramachandra Kaviraj and Govinda Kaviraj hosted him in great opulence. Narottam Das Thakur had also left Vrindavan on Lokanath Goswami's orders, returning to Keturi. On the full moon day of Falgun, he established the worship of 6 sets of deities in the temple there: Shri Gauranga, Shri Vallabhikanta, Shri Vraj Mohan, Shri Kṛṣṇa, Shri Radhakant, and Shri Radharaman. Śrīnivāsa Ācārya performs the installation ceremony and the first puja. Janava Devi was also present at this great event. After the festival, she went on to Vraj with her entourage. Upon her return, she met with Śrīnivāsa Ācārya at Katwa, and then went with him to Jajigram, where she spent some time as his guest. Śrīnivāsa Ācārya made another trip to Navadvip with Narottam Thakur and Ramachandra Kaviraj, performing the parikrama of the 9 islands, each of which represents one of the limbs of devotional service. When Raghunandan Thakur entered the Nitya Lila, Śrīnivāsa Ācārya went to Srikhanda and participated in the disappearance festival. He returned with a heavy heart to Jajigram, and from there went to Ban Vishnupur. The king and the other residents of the town were excited by his visit and received him with great pomp. In Vishnupur, Śrīnivāsa Ācārya received an order from Mahaprabhu in a dream to accept the hand of Gauranga Priya, the daughter of a certain Raghava Chakravarti. Raghav Chakravarti and his wife Madhavi had been searching for a suitable husband for their daughter. They had simultaneously received the order to give their daughter in marriage to Śrīnivāsa Ācārya in a dream. Śrīnivāsa Ācārya thus married for the second time. What's her name? Gauranga Priya. So Lakshmi Priya and Gauranga Priya. Pure devotees have no objective in life other than to fulfill the desires of the Supreme Lord. They are thus ready to do anything if it pleases the Lord. None of their activities has the slightest hint of material desire in it. Śrīnivāsa Ācārya is the Shaktivishta avatar of Mahaprabhu, and only a person who has received his special blessings can describe his transcendental activities. Jai Srila Śrīnivāsa Ācārya ki Jai. All right, so I think today would be a very appropriate day, the disappearance day of Śrīnivāsa Ācārya, to sing Jaya Nila Premadhana. Let's let me just find it 1 second. We can sing Jaya Nila Premadhana and also the Keshavashtakam. 1 second. Let me just put this in dark mode.
That's what I reckoned.
Okay, let's find Jaya Nila Premadhana. Oops. Premadhana. Okay, here we are. He who brought the treasure of Prem out of his, he who brought the treasure of Prem out of his great compassion. Where has such a venerable personality as Sri Śrīnivāsa Ācārya gone? Where are my Swarup Damodar Goswami and Rupa Goswami? Where is Sanatan Goswami? Where is Raghunath Das Goswami, the savior of fallen souls? Where are my Gopal Bhatta Goswami and Raghunath Bhatta Goswami? Where is Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami? Where has Gauranga, the king of dancers, suddenly gone? I shall dash my head upon a stone or enter into fire. Oh, where should I go to find Gauranga, the treasure house of all divine qualities? Unable to attain the association of that Sri Śrīnivāsa Ācārya, who performs pastimes with the associates of Mahaprabhu, Narottam Das weeps. Srila Bhaktivedānta Parati Goswami Maharaj translated this last verse here. Did you know that he was Sangir? Yeah, refers to Śrīnivāsa Ācārya. He is in the association of the Sangir. Okay. Jaya Nilo Premadhana Karuna Prachur Jaya Nilo Premadhana Karuna Prachur Heno Prabhu Kota Gela Ācārya Ṭhākura Heno Prabhu Kota Gela Ācārya Ṭhākura Kahan mor Swarup Rupa Kahan Sanatan Kahan mor Swarup Rupa Kahan Sanatan Kahan Dasa Raghunatha पतित पावन। Oops. कहाँ दास रघुनाथ पतित पावन। कहाँ मोर भट्ट जुग, कहाँ कविराज। कहाँ मोर भट्ट जुग, कहाँ कविराज। एक काले को था गेला गोरा नटराज। एक काले को था गेला गोरा नटराज। पाषाणे कुटिब माता अनले पोषिब। पाषाणे कुटिब माता अनले पोषिब। गौरांग गुणे निधि कोता गेले पाब। गौरांग गुणेर निधि कोता गेले पाब। সে সব সঙ্গীর সঙ্গে যে কইলা বিলাস। সে সব সঙ্গীর সঙ্গে যে কইল বিলাস। সে সঙ্গ না পায় কান্দে নরোত্তম দাস। সে সঙ্গ না পায় কান্দে নরোত্তম দাস। সে সঙ্গ না পায় কান্দে নরোত্তম দাস। সে সঙ্গ না পায় কাঁদে নরোত্তম দাস। জয়া নীল প্রেম দান করুণা প্রচুর। জয়া নীল প্রেম দান করুণা প্রচুর। অহেন প্রভু কোথা গেলা আচার্য ঠাকুর। অহেন প্রভু কোথা গেলা আচার্য ঠাকুর। অহেন প্রভু কোথা গেলা গদাধর দাস ঠাকুর। অহেন প্রভু কোথা গেলা গদাধর দাস ঠাকুর। অহেন প্রভু কোথা গেলা ধনঞ্জয় পণ্ডিত ঠাকুর। অহেন প্রভু কোথা গেলা ধনঞ্জয় ঠাকুর। জয় শ্রীনিবাস প্রভু শ্রীনিবাস আচার্য শ্রীনিবাস আচার্য শ্রীনিবাস। জয় নরোত্তম ঠাকুর নরোত্তম নরোত্তম ঠাকুর নরোত্তম। জয় গদাধর দাস গদাধর দাস গদাধর দাস প্রভু গদাধর দাস। জয় গদাধর দাস গদাধর দাস গদাধর দাস ঠাকুর গদাধর দাস। জয় Pandit Dhanañjaya, Jaya Dhanañjaya, Dhanañjaya Pandit Dhanañjaya, Jaya Dhanañjaya Pandit Dhanañjaya, Dhanañjaya Pandit Dhanañjaya, Jai Swaparshara Gaura Hari, Swaparshara Jaya Gaura Hari, Jai Swaparshara Jaya Gaura Hari, Swaparshara Jaya Gaura Hari. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaur, Hari Bol. Okay, now I think we can sing, we'll end with the Keshavashtakam. Let me just find it. Keshavashtakam. Here it is. So we'll sing Keshavashtakam for Gopāṣṭamī today. I'll share my screen again, and then we'll end. This is written by Śrīla Rupa Gosvāmī Pad. There are two Keshavashtakams. We're just going to read the first one. Wearing beautiful earrings wrought from the clusters of new kadamba buds, a brilliant wreath of fully blossoming malati jasmine crowning his head, and across his chest, a captivating garland strung from utica jasmine that is blooming ever so slightly. He returns from the forest lands of Vraj like a victor marching home. That Keshav I worship. Pishangi, Manikastani, Pranata Shringi, Pingekshane, Mridanga Mukhi, Dhumale, Shabali, Hangshi, Vangshi Priye. I worship Keshav as he returns to Vraj from the forest lands, moving to and fro, cheerfully calling out to his divine Surabhi cows. I love the names. Manikastani. Is that like jewel like udders? Jewel like, what's Pranata Shringi? Pranata means like moving down, right?
Yeah, so it means horns that are like dipping down.
Okay, so dipping down horns. Pingekshane. Ikshana means eyes, right? So pinga, what's?
Pinga is yellow.
So yellow eyes. Mridanga Mukhi, the face is shaped like a mridanga. Mridanga faced. Dhumale is would be like dust or like, what is it? Not dust. Like gray, like smoke. Dhum?
Yeah.
Smoky. So it's probably like a gray colored cow, I'm guessing. I wonder what Shabali means. And then Hangsi, maybe something to do with the swan. Vangsi Priye, who's very, very dear to the flute, and the flute's very dear to him. Her, sorry. Okay, so, tender in their bosom bond of friendship, they are all veritable reservoirs of tasteful cowherd boy humor, as well as experts in singing, dancing, arts, and sports, mingling now in an array of splendid outfits on the paths into Vraj. I worship that Keshav, who, with his words, makes these friends of his laugh with all of their hearts as they return from the forest pastures. Beads of perspiration gently lick his cheeks, which have been painted with the charming designs of budding leaves using fragrant mineral colors. And this is from the commentary of Baladev Vijabhushan. He writes that the colors are gold, red, white, and blue, collected from the hills of Giriraj Govardhan. Meanwhile, his restless curling locks of hair mock a lustrous swarm of bees. I worship that Keshav as he returns to Vraj from the forests. Eager to see their newborn calves, who are safely restrained back in the Goshta village of Vraj, many of the white Dhavala cows dash ahead, carving up the earth with the points of their hooves. I worship that Keshav who is quick to summon them back to the front of the herd with the soft, melodious tones of his flute as he proceeds back to Vraj from the forests. I worship that Keshav as he returns to Vraj from the forest, deftly beautifying the roads with countless footprints, distinct with the auspicious markings of a flag, thunderbolt, etc., while the restless cows run ahead, kicking up so much dust that it covers his garlands of forest flowers, making it look a dark reddish gray. The gentle waves of the breeze ruffles the hem of his pitambar with the tips of his peacock feather crown. So descriptive, huh? From a distance, the sweet, low sounds of the long murali flute, the long murali flute that he uses in his playful pastimes, delights the hearts of all the ladies of Vraj. And this is referring to those of his mother's age. This is from Balladeva Vibhushan's commentary. Everything that you see in parentheses is from Balladeva Vibhushan's commentary. So his playful flute, the sweet low sound of his long murali flute delights the hearts of all the elder ladies of Vraj, who are in their homes, and causes the hairs on their limbs to stand on end. Krishna's return, like a festival, has everyone excited. Thus, again and again, increasing the bliss in the heart of the Queen of Vraj, his mother Yashoda, he returns from the forest to Vraj. I worship that Keshav. Seems like every single ras has been represented here. We had the cow ras, the sakya ras. Now we have the elderly, Vatsalya ras, and now we're coming to the gopis. Rushing up to the path, the multitudes of beautiful girls, like so many goddesses of fortune, worship him with budding smiles and hundreds of dancing crooked sidelong glances, while his eyes, like honeybees, rove around the edges of their breasts, which are adorned with stunning blouses, and appear to be bouquets of blossoming flowers. I worship that Keshav as he returns to Vraj from the forest. This is a grand festival of delight for the hosts of cowherd girls. If a person following the proper process of bhajan reads and recites this 8-part poem profusely, then may the bosom friend of Vishaka endow him with brilliant intelligence, grant him unwavering love, that's rati or bhav, for his lotus feet, and thereby delight him for all time. Jai Shri Keshav Dev Ki Jai. Okay, so now we'll sing this song and end the program for today. This is in the meter called Prithvi. Nava Priyaka Manjari Rachita Karna Pura Shriyam Vinindratara Malati Kalita Shekare Nojvala Darojvasita Yutika Gratita Valguvai Kakshakam Vraje Vijayinam Bhaje Vipina Deshata Keshava Vishangi Manikastani Pranata Shringi Pinge Kshane Mridanga Mukhi Dhumale Shabali Hangsi Vangshi Priye Iti Swasura Bikula Taralama Vayanta Muda Vraje Vijayinam Bhaje Vipina Deshata Keshava Ghana Pranaya Meduran Madhura Narma Goshti Kala Vilasa Nilayan Milar Vivida Vesha Vidyotinam Sakina Kila Saraya Patishuha Sayantam Gira Vraje Vijayinam Bhaje Vipina Deshata Keshava Shamambuka Nikavali Dharavili Dagandantara Samura Giridhatubir Likita Charupantram Kuram Udancharali mandali Duti vidambi vakralakam Praje vijayinam bhaje Vipina deshata keshavam Nipadanavatarnaka valivilo kanotkanthaya Natat kuraputanchalar Alugubir bhuvan vindatin Kalena dhavala ghata Lagu nirvartayantam puro Praje vijayinam bhaje Vipina deshata keshava Padankatati bhirvara Virachayantvam advashriya Chala tarala naichiki Nichaya dhuli dhumbrasrajam Marulla hari chanchali Krita dukula chudanchala Praje vijayinam bhaje Vipina deshata keshava Vilasa murali kala Dhvani birullasan manasa Kṛṣṇara kila pallavi Pulakayantamantar grihe Mohor vidatatang hridi Apramuditancha goshte shvare Vraje vijayinam bhaje Vipina deshata keshava Upetya pati sundari Tati virapir abhyarchita Smitankura karambitar Natarapanga bhangi shatai Stanastavaka sancharan Nayana chanchari kanchala Praje vijayinam bhaje Vipina deshata keshava Idam nikhila ballavi Okula mahotsavollasanam Okramena kilaya puman Patati shushtupadyashtakam Tam ujvala diyam sada Anija padaravinda tvaye Ratim dadada chanchalam Sukayatar vishaka saka Vraje vijayinam bhaje Vipina deshata keshava O vraje vijayinam bhaje O vipina deshata keshava O vraje vijayinam bhaje O vipina deshata keshava Vraje vijayinam bhaje O vipina deshata keshava Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Oh Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Gaur Hari Bol. Jai Shri Guru Gauranga Gandharvika Giridhari Shri Radha Vinod Bihari Ju ki jai, Shri Govinda Gopinath Madan Mohan Ju ki jai, Nityalla Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashtatarashata Shishmar Bhaktivedānta Nārāyaṇa Gosvāmī Mahārāja Śrīla Gurudeva ki jai, Nityalla Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashtatarashata Shishmar Bhaktivedānta Vāman Gosvāmī Mahārāja ki jai, Nityalla Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashtatarashata Shishmar Bhaktivedānta Swāmī Mahārāja Śrīla Prabhupada ki jai, Nityalla Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashtatarashata Shishmar Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj ki jai, Nityalla Vishnupad Ashtatarashata Shishmar Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada ki jai, Nityalla Tadiya Parashad Vrinda ki jai, Nityalla Pravishta Mahabhagavat Śrīla Gaurkishoras Babaji Maharaj ki jai, Nityalla Pravishta Śrīla Satchidananda Bhaktivedānta Ṭhākura ki jai, Nityalla Pravishta Vaishnav Sarvabhauma Śrīla Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj ki jai, Shri Rupa Nagagoriya Guru Varga ki jai, Shri Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath, Shri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Dasa Raghunath, Shara Goswami Prabhu ki jai, Shri Sarup Damodar Rai Ramanandari Shri Gaur Parshad Vrinda ki jai, Namacharya Śrīla Haridas Ṭhākura ki jai, प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासरी गौर भक्त वृंद की जाय, श्री क्षेत्र मंडल गौर मंडल ब्रज मंडल मथुरा वृंदावन धाम की जाय, सर्व अभीष्ट प्रदाता गिरिराज महाराज की जाय, श्री राधा कुंड श्याम कुंड की जाय, श्री यमुना देवी गंगा देवी की जाय, श्री तुलसी महारानी वृंद देवी की जाय, श्री भक्ति देवी की जाय, श्री पूर्णमासी योगमाया की जाय, श्री गोपेश्वर महादेव की जाय, श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जाय, अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जाय, श्री गोपाष्टमी तिथि की जाय, all of the suckers ki jai, all of the cows ki jai, Shri Krishna Kanaya Gopal Krishna ki jai, Shri sorry, my mind went blank for a second. Shri Dhanañjaya Paṇḍita ki jai, Shri Gadādhara dāsa Ṭhākura ki jai, Shri Śrīnivāsa Ācārya ki jai, Tadiya Tīrobhāva-tithi ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai, Samagata Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari
Hari Bo
Hari Hari Bo Vrindai Tulsi Devai Priyai Kṛṣṇa
Krishna Bhakti Devi Satyavate Namanam
Vancha
Kalpatarubhascha Kripa Sindhuveva Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Dandavatanam
everybody.
Hare Krishna.
Hari Bo. All right, so tomorrow we will, that's the end of our program today. Tomorrow we will read from this beautiful book, Our Srila Prabhupada, A Friend to All. we'll read remembrances of Srila Prabhupada from the 1920s, 1930s, 1940s, and 50s. So like old memories before Srila Prabhupada went to the West. We'll read from that book, and yeah, that will be our program. Pranams, everybody. Kṛṣṇa Didi, Shubhananda Prabhu, Nri Hari Prabhu, and Bhavatarani Mataji, Vaidyanath Murari Prabhu, Nartam Nitai Prabhu, and Megan Monroe. Hare Krishna. And let me see on YouTube and Facebook who is all there. Angelo, Ganga Mataji, Vidya Lalasa Didi, Champak Mataji, and whoever else is watching. Pranams to all of you, and I'll see you all tomorrow.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Dandavat.
Dandavat pranams. Hari Prabhu. Hari Bol. See you all tomorrow.